Hello everyone, today we're going to show you how to change the starter on the 05 to 07 Ford 500 and Mercury Montego with the V6 and the continuously variable transmission. And this is an easy one for you. You're going to need an 8mm socket, preferably with an extension or a screwdriver handle on it, nut driver type thing. And we're going to start with removing the air cleaner box. To remove the air cleaner box, there's a 8mm screw here, it comes out, and then there's a 8mm hose clamp here for the intake line, and then there's a connector for the mass airflow sensor. This is one of those two-stage connectors. You got to grasp your fingernail underneath this red part and lift it up into the up position like it is now, and then squeeze this tab in gently and it'll pull right out. That frees that up a little bit, but there's still two prongs on the bottom. They're rubber mounted and pushed in. You're going to roll this forward as far as you can and then snap it upward vigorously, and those two pins will pop out of the rubber inserts on the base. Next, we're going to disconnect the battery cable. Most people say the negative side. You can do the positive or negative. It doesn't really matter as long as it's disconnected. I would say, since you're doing the starter, I would go ahead and disconnect the positive side, but like I say, again, I don't think it really matters. Now you're going to want to tuck that battery cable safely aside so it can't accidentally pop back up and hit that terminal while you're working. Then we're going to want to come down here, and there's going to be 3 more bolts you need to take out to remove that starter. And the starter is right, we'll point to it, the starter is right here. And there's going to be 2 mounting bolts to hold it in, and then 1 bolt here for the field coil wire, and another nut for the battery cable wire. So actually there's 4 more things to remove, and that starter will come right out. Let's get to it. Alright, the solenoid wire you can see here, that's a 10mm nut on there, and you're going to want to spray it down with a little bit of penetrating oil first, because these terminals down here can get pretty corroded, and that can lead to them snapping off when you try and remove them. Also, forgot to show you this, I'd snap this off. This is a protective trim cap that goes over the terminals to keep them from getting accidentally shorted out. That just you grab it and snap it off. It just held on by tension, so that's real easy to take off. Make sure you put that back on when you're done. And then, like I say, it's a 13mm nut for the battery cable. Let me see if we can see. Yep, we can see that right down there. And then we have the 2 main bolts that hold the starter in place, and I'm going to probably have to get a flashlight to show you those. Now your starter on this is mounted a little differently than most starters. The bolts don't go in through the end and bolt to the block like most people have experienced before in the past. This is a gear reduction starter motor, and it's a flat side mount. So the bolts for it are going to actually go in sideways this way where we're standing right here. And they've left access points for them here. Let's see, get the camera down there. You can see right down there is one of the bolts. And you're probably going to need a long extension and either a wobble end or a swivel end to get on that. Looks like it's a 10mm. And the other one's probably, we're looking at it again, we're going to reach in either through here above or below this hose, and the starter bolt's going to go in on an angle. There's 2 of them, one on top, one on bottom. And there's also, when you take it apart, you'll notice there's a couple of nice little guide pins to hold it in place while you're getting the bolts set in place. So I would do the bottom one first, and then get your extension and go down here through this gap here and do the top one. And then when I put it back, I would also do it the same way. I'd reach it in, set it in place, you let the guide pins hold it in place, and then do the bottom bolt first because it's going to be the easiest to access. And you can change the starter yourself. It's going to be super easy, or relatively easy anyway. These bolts are a little harder to get to than I first thought it would be, but they're really not that bad. And like I say, just a couple of extensions, and not that hard. You can do it, save a bunch of money, do this job yourself, and get back on the road in no time at all. Thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye for now.